Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What's something that's not a cult but feels like a cult? AA. I am in AA. I like AA. It saved my life. But it is cultish a lot of the time. Also in AA, also love AA, also agree. AA is great. If you let it become your new addiction, it will be pretty cult-like. Some people forget we got sober so we could function in normal society. The Herbalife organization. They were charged with being a pyramid scheme, but they still operate in a similar way. There are several people I grew up with who became hooked on it, and they definitely act like they are in a cult. My niece was involved in that shit. She was constantly posting shit-tier memes about how Herbalife wasn't a cult. If you have to constantly say you're not in a cult, that's a bad sign. Hey, is this the cult? We're not a cult. We're a deeply intimate interpersonal business model with modern marketing solutions and bottom-up marketing. Yep, this is the cult. Some workplaces. The ones that push the "we're all family here" attitude especially. Aka, you won't be promoted. LMAO, exactly. You're part of our family and family helps each other out with as little compensation as possible. Literally saw a job posting yesterday that said if monetary compensation is your primary reason for applying, don't bother. We're a family here. That was one of the most demeaning things I've ever read. Edit, just to be clear, this was a paid job. They were just saying that they weren't going to pay you very much, I guess. If you want to get paid for your employment, look elsewhere. Yeah, okay. I definitely will. Edit, it's always the random comments you don't even think about that become your top rated. I worked in a place that tried to convince the employees we were a family. They basically meant that they would abuse you and expect you to take it, because family. They actively discourage current employees from socializing with former employees. If an employee left because he was fired, it was because he was a bad example to the others and had to be excised from the group. If an employee left because he got fed up and quit, it was because he was a bad apple anyway, but they had not legitimate reason to fire him yet. Either way, that former employee is no longer one of us and should be avoided at all costs. One employee was chastised for liking too many of a former employee's FB posts. I was employed by a company exactly like this. He was a photographer with his hands in a lot of other things. He hired young, cute women and tried to convince us all we were family while totally ignoring the fact that we had actual families. When I left, an employee said they had a whole meeting about how terrible I was and they wanted me gone anyway. His online fans think he is just the bee's knees. It drives me insane. This dude emotionally and verbally abused, overworked, and grossly underpaid all of us. Fucking awful. Think it honestly may have given me mild PTSD. Marching band. If you know, you know. One thing that still blows my mind to this day is that people pay thousands of dollars to be in drum corps bands. So many questions when I first learned about it. Oh, so it's like being in an orchestra where it's your job to play and be the best in the world. Nope, you pay them actually. Oh well, at least you'll be basically famous or at least really well known for playing that instrument. Nope, the only people who even know the name of your corps or even what drum and bugle corps is in general are other corps members, their family, or high school marching band kids and their teachers. Totally agree with you. I was in marching band in high school and just graduated earlier this year. I wanted to do drum corps since 7th grade but decided not to in my last year of marching band. People are paying to learn, that's what it's about. But I barely have enough money for that after I got a job and would much rather spend those years of my life earning money and planning for my future. And the hours that they make you rehearse. In high school we would have band camp for 2 weeks and it was 11 hours a day 6 days a week. I think drum corps does more and it's for months at a time. I still have friends who wanna do that. MLMs, but especially Mary Kay. I went to a convention once as the guest of a consultant because she was trying to get me to join. It was very step-forward. Also, she didn't tell me you were expected to dress up, so I showed up in jeans and a hoodie. Haha. I had the exact same experience. Showed up looking normal and realized these were not my kind of people. I suspect that is part of the plan. Get people to arrive underdressed so that they feel like they are in the presence of success. Did they actually tell you in advance it was a convention? My experience with that was when my friend gave me the line and asked me if I'd be willing to be a practice model while someone gave me a makeover. It ended up being an hours-long award ceremony where the women wept over how MK changed their lives and made them successful business people. They thought my eyes watering from all the yawning was tears of joy and tried to recruit me. Never did end up getting my makeup done that night. I snuck out as soon as I could. Not makeup but an insurance scheme thing. This buddy from HS wanted to catch up. We decided to play pool and have a couple of beers. He asked me if I would attend a meeting before we met up. He picked me up and took me there. I knew what was up once we chatted in the car. Still was kind of shady to do it like that. I'm sure they are trained to do it like that, otherwise people wouldn't want to go to the meeting. Edit. Was World Financial Group. The presentation made some sort of sense and I'm sure the products work, I'm just not into it. I have a job, I'm not trying to spend a bunch of my free time on products and services I genuinely don't care about. I have to be passionate about something in order to sell to people and especially like bothering family and friends. Some of us are lambs, some of us are lions. I'm not a lamb. That's essentially what I said to my buddy after we got back into his car to play pool. We hung out a bunch more after that, but then he shortly stopped returning my messages. High school clubs where you spend a lot of time together. Marching band and theater are the ones that come to mind for me. This is extremely true of theater, even into the professional ranks. Too many gurus, too little pay, too many abuses. Yeah, I studied theater for 2 years in college and it got to the point where there was definitely a cult-like atmosphere. When I decided to leave and study engineering, instead, there was even a girl who sat me down and told me that God gave me the gift of acting and that by choosing to ignore that gift I was ignoring God. Yeah. Shit was weird. I'm a lot happier in engineering. CrossFit. A friend of mine does CrossFit and I made the mistake of saying I'm glad you found something that works for you. Got a tirade of why it works for everyone. Has he told you that he does CrossFit today? Deleted. CrossFit is the Atified Club. The first rule of CrossFit is you must always talk about CrossFit. Ultra boom. Boom boom. Edit, whoosh. Thanks my dudes for the updudes and the silver. I love you all. Edit #2, thank you for the second silver. Love you all. 3. Boom, boom. Just by the by, Debbie Stovelma is happy, healthy and alive. Please sign here that you've seen Debbie Stovelma and find her to be happy, healthy, and alive. X__________. Working for a non-profit. They tend to refer to employees as a family working for a cause, which wouldn't be culty on its own, but they definitely use it to manipulate employees to work themselves half to death and set a culture where boundaries are thought of as not being invested in the mission. They also use your passion for the mission to justify working you harder / paying you less. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my job and what I get to do. But I'm old enough to see what's been done to me over the years. The rotating door of young employees who are worked to bure out and replaced though, I feel bad for. It's a hard lesson to learn. Edit, wow, thank you all for the genuinely kind comments, feedback and commiseration. I had no idea this comment would resonate with so many people. I truly appreciate that you took the time to share your stories with me. Got told we weren't paid a lot because we were doing something we were passionate about. I was one of those that had no boundaries and burned out. Getting my master's to become a NP manager and help stop the bure-out culture madness. I'm not really that passionate about what we do. Can I have a raise? The Holy Church of CrossFit. I'm a member of the not quite as well-known Church of Orage Theory. If you ask us about proper rowing technique, we'll all start chanting at you. Legs, core, arms, core, legs. Rowing is 60% leg drive. Power, patience, patience. When I first joined 2.5 years ago, I came home with my little folder of information and coupons to local businesses, a tote bag, a car magnet, and the heart rate monitor, and said to my husband, I think I just joined a cult. Some families. If you're inside the family, you are accepted no matter what and you don't question anything. If you're outside the family, you are treated politely but don't really matter much unless you act as part of the family. If you were part of the family, but betray them, you are excommunicated and they spread lies about you. Whenever my wife and I see signs in people's houses that say something like, "This is a happy family," or "This family lives, laughs, and loves," we like to call it household propaganda. We tend to picture those families the way you describe here. I fucking hate shit like that. I have a wife and 2 kids. Why would we need wording on the wall to reinforce something that should be natural within a family? Those signs are just tacky. My in-laws got us a sign like that. We put it on storage and quietly sold it to someone who wanted it a few years later. Story of my fucking life. Same. Can't believe how this is so similar for so many others. Evidently cult-like.